Captain Marvel, Captain Marvel. Oh my goodness. My name is Kyle Suggs and welcome to my channel. I want to talk to you a little bit more about this Captain Marvel fiasco right now. This thing with Captain Marvel is really making me upset because the media now is saying that it's the plan of Rotten Tomatoes, it's the plan of Fandango to remove these scores way back in the day. That it just so happened that we're going to take it down right on the brink of Captain Marvel going sub-zero in their audience anticipation score rating. Oh, it was just a coincidence. Yeah, right. I even had a guy on Facebook comment when I posted on the Fandango advertisement that came across. He posted an article, I think it was from CNET, talking about how, yeah, you know, the CEO from, I think, Fandango or Rotten Tomatoes said, we did not protect Captain Marvel. This was a planned deal. Well, yeah, right. So I just want to go through a timeline really quickly of how we got here and just cut the crap, all right? So here we go. So basically, the movie was tracking anywhere from $140 to $160 million a few months ago, and that went to about the $100 million range. And of course, there were some conflicts in that. People were saying, well, you know, there's some metrics, and they weren't sure about, you know, if we're dealing with apples versus, you know, oranges or whatnot. And so there were some discrepancies there. But even that, people were even tending to say that this could be even below an $80 million weekend, which is crazy. But all of this stimulated right after the fact that on June 2018, it really got out that Brie Larson had made the comments at the Crystal and Lucy Awards, where she basically thanked nobody. She didn't thank her parents, her family, her producers. No, she didn't even talk about the crisis of the day in the social justice community, and that was the hashtag #MeToo. None of that. It was about she was blasting the media and critics who are coming in who are not of the right ethnicity, and particularly white men, and with the wrinkle in time quote. So that thing went ballistic. And then in February later that year, she has an article that she was part of, where she's interviewed, where she goes off and she alludes to the fact that she's sick of being interviewed by white guys. And so she talks about how women of color and people with disabilities need to have more opportunities. And of course, look, let me say this. I'm all for that, okay? No one's debating the fact that it's really important for people to be able to achieve what they can, regardless of their race, creed, color, abilities. I mean, in terms of physical abilities, in terms of like their, you know, not is it physically challenged and so forth, that everybody should have the equal opportunity. But the thing is, you're not always going to get the equal outcome of that. And I actually did a video on this. I'll post a link on that one. But basically, I won't get into that. But essentially, and then a few weeks later, she has to push that back. She meets with a guy named Kevin McCarthy on the, I guess it was the Fox 5. It was a junket, I believe. And he basically talks to her about that. He says, hey, I'm a white guy, and you know, I know what you're saying, and you're awesome, and people need to read the article and understand what's going on. And so, yeah. That goes on and on before they even get to the topic of the interview. The perception is that, you know, Brie Larson and Marvel, that they don't want the white male audience who, of course, they gotta put them in the category of racist, homophobic, whatever, because they can't stand strong women and so forth. And they blamed it on Ghostbusters. They blamed it on Solo. You know, they blamed it on Russian bots. They're blaming it on trolls. They're blaming it on little white guys sitting in the basement eating paste and playing video games because we don't have an opinion. They can't take the fact that we have our own opinion about things. And this goes on into everything. It goes into sports, it's coming into movies, and obviously it's into politics. And people just want to be able to escape. People just want to be able to speak their mind and say what they think about. And so, you know, with that, I'm going to do a little more videos on this, but I want to keep this as on topic as possible. But, you know, it's really at this point now where I think the more YouTube channels that we can get out and get this message out, the harder it will be for the studios to actually combat this, because I think Disney and Fandango and those guys and Marvel made a huge mistake. They overplayed their hand, and let's see what happens. So until next time, thank you for listening, and peace.